Yo guys, what is going on? It is Raging Ryuga here, and for those of you who have not already watched the dev live stream, they went over the killer power, they went over the perks, they went over all 6 survivor perks, and I just want to talk to you guys about them. I want to give you my opinion. For those of you who haven't already read the perks, well, now you're going to learn. Either way, let's jump into it. We're going to be talking about the Demogorgon's power. So basically what the Demogorgon can do is it can place these, I'll show you in a little bit, these little piles on the ground. We don't really have a number on how many they can place because the devs are very obscure when they're talking about it. But pretty much you can place them wherever you want on the map, and when you are sitting on this portal, you can choose another portal you've placed on the map to teleport to that location. Now it has a cast time, of course, but it allows you to go across the map, you know, very, very easily, and you get to choose where it is. Survivors can destroy these portals, but they also cannot hear the terror radius while they are destroying it, and they also have their location revealed to the killer. But you can also have more than one survivor working on the portal, which of course will cause it to close faster. His secondary power is a lunge. It's kind of like the pig in terms of being able to stride forward, except in my opinion it's a lot better. It's like a very long M1. You slow down for a little bit, but you can lunge very far. So let me go ahead and pull up the clips that they had from the live stream. So the first one we have of them setting the portals right here. So you see what they look like. They're kind of these weird, you know, upside down looking entrail piles. That's kind of what they look like. But yeah, so you can see when he stands on them, you get the little hovers like Freddy, and then you dig into the ground and you teleport all the way to whichever one you're going to. So it can take a second to teleport, but I think it's a really cool ability. And then survivors, of course, they have their auras revealed if they're working on one of these. So if you're nearby one of these, you could teleport to the one they're working on, which could be very cool. And survivors, they can destroy these. You pretty much just go up to the portal and you look like you're digging in the ground. It takes a very long time from what I was watching in the dev live stream, so I think that's good. And then let's go over to his pouncing ability. So we'll show it to you right here. So he charges it like that, where his hands look like that, and then he can freaking yeet across the map. And then as soon as he finishes his charge, he gets a fatigue cooldown because he needs to make sure he roars, you know. See, watch right here. So he'll lunge, and then when he hits you, he freaking roars. And yeah, I think that's a pretty neat power. It's a simple M1 killer with the ability to lunge very far. I say simple M1 killer, but of course, you know, he can teleport, all that stuff. I just think it's very cool that such a simple mechanic such as lunging like that, I think that has a great, you know, a great potential, because it's not game breaking, but it's still, you know, it's a very cool power. I can't wait to play with him on the PTB. Overall, I think this will be a good killer, because there's no way you can go wrong with lunging and teleporting. Like, really, it's not that bad. I don't think it's going to be so overpowered, but we'll have to wait to see what the add-ons do, as well as what exactly are the, you know, limitations of the lunge. You do slow down when you're charging the lunge, so you can't just, you know, yeet whenever you want to. You have to make sure you're strategic about it. But I'm sure there are going to be add-ons that are like insta-lunge, all that stuff. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go into the perks. So the Demogorgon perks include Surge. So when you put a survivor into the dying state with your basic attack, all generators in a 32-meter radius to where you down that survivor, they all explode and they regress. An additional 12% of regression occurs as well. It also has a very long cooldown, like 40 seconds. This perk, in my opinion, is kind of mediocre. If it stacks with Pop Goes the Weasel, that would be very good, but I don't think that it will. And even if it did, Pop Goes the Weasel has a, you know, a 60-second timer. So just think about this for a second, right? So when you down a survivor, if you're running Surge, it will proc. You pick up the survivor and you hook them. So now Pop Goes the Weasel has a 60-second timer. Your Surge is still on cooldown. So if you down somebody soon, Surge won't even activate. So the only way you can use Pop with Surge is if you're able to squeeze it in like that kind of 20-second cooldown, unless you slug the survivor. You could slug the survivor and try to do that. In my opinion, the perks would have amazing synergy if they lower the cooldown. if they did stack, but I highly doubt the devs would think about giving killers something fun. You know, Spirit Fury Enduring is a good combination. I doubt they would give us another fun combination such as Surge and Pop Goes the Weasel, but you never know. I think that would be very cool. Other than that, I don't think the perk is that good. It's like okay. It always will have a situational use like most perks, but I don't think it'll beat anything that's in the meta right now. So the next one is pretty interesting. It's Cruel Confinement. So every time a generator is completed, all windows and vault locations within 32 meters of the generator are blocked for like 35 seconds. You also get to see the aura of everywhere that's blocked. I think that can be a very good perk. Anything that blocks, you know, the ability to vault, get away from the killer is great. I think it'll be better on killers that have high mobility, like Spirit or Hillbilly, because it'll take away the survivor's ability to, you know, use vaults. So you'll get a free down with those. It could be pretty good on Leatherface, but if they finish the gen far away from you, Cruel Confinement will pretty much be useless. So I feel like it's going to be useful on select killers. You could maybe pair it with Bitter Murmur to see where the survivors go. Other than that, though, I think it's an okay perk. I don't think it'll be amazing. I think it'll be fun to play with, but I still think there are probably better perks for most killers, because most killers cannot get across the map that fast. This could be a very good perk for Freddy, because you can kind of cut them off, teleport to another gen, get close to the one they completed. So it doesn't really matter where you are, but it just depends. Honestly, I'm getting like flooded in my mind right now. Tinkerer Freddy, right? Because Tinkerer will alert you when they're working on the gen. Wait a few seconds for the gen to get 95 and start teleporting to the gen, because you know the survivors are going to greed the gen, because that's what survivors do. And then bang, you teleport there, Cruel Confinement is activated, they can't vault anywhere 32 meters around you. That could be a cool combination, like stuff like that. It has great potential. So then we are gonna look at Mindbreaker. I remember when I was looking in the chat when when the devs announced this perk, and everybody was like, oh my god, this perk's gonna be so overpowered, what the heck. Like, just read it, it's not even that good. So when a survivor starts working on a generator with less than 50% repair progress, they're afflicted with exhaustion. Exhaustion will stay on them until they leave, which it will last another 1, 2 to 3 seconds. Any existing exhaustion status timers will pause while working on a generator. The only good effect it has is pausing already, you know, present exhaustion timers, but it only lasts 3 seconds. Just get off the gen for 3 seconds and you get your exhaustion is gone. So I don't see why people are freaking out. It's not that good. That's all I gotta say about it. I mean, pausing the exhaustion timers, like, that's whatever. Because if they have exhaustion, that means they probably already escaped you in a chase, so the chance that you go over to them is not gonna be that high, but, you know, it could be okay. It's not terrible. Anything that fiddles with exhaustion is good, but overall, I do not believe it's gonna be that great. Unless you purposely leave a survivor and they go on a gen, and then you go back to them, catch them off guard, and then they don't have exhaustion. But for the most part, I don't think it'll have that great of use, especially because it's only 50% repair progress. It's not that hard to get 50%. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see where that goes, but I personally don't think it's that great of a perk. And now we are going to go into the survivor perks. We get Babysitter, so when you unhook a survivor, they will leave no scratch marks or blood pools for 8 seconds. For 6 to 8. I'm just saying 8 because it's the highest tier. This also should be noted, most of you probably know this, all these numbers aren't final. They could definitely change when PTB hits and all that stuff. Additionally, you and the killer will see each other's aura for 4 seconds. This is a very good anti-tunnel perk. I have no problems with it. I think it's a fantastic perk because killers shouldn't tunnel for the most part anyways. So overall, solid perk. In comparison to other perks, I don't think it's that good because you can always run other perks, you know. But if you want to change up how you play, I honestly think it's a good perk. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's not OP. It's just, you know, it's a good perk. It helps, you know, protect your team. And then we have, they said it in the stream. I don't know how to say that. Is that camaraderie? No, it's not it's camaraderie. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Fuck, I don't know how to say it. Don't bully me. So this perk activates when you are in the struggle phase on a hook, so it's a one-time a game perk. When a survivor enters the 16-meter range of your hook, your struggle timer is immediately paused for 14 seconds. Now this, I think it's a very good perk. because killers already have a hard time because struggle timer is so long, which I'm not calling for it to be like nerfed or anything. I think it's fine. It's just a very long time to wait out, especially if you're trying to protect the hook when there are 2 survivors swarming it. So this just gives them even more pressure against you. So overall, it's a good survivor perk. It's definitely anti-camp. Gives your teammates a chance to, you know, maybe get to you before you die. Overall, I'd say it's a good perk. And then Second Wind. After healing 1 health state of another survivor, Second Wind activates. Once activated, you are inflicted with a broken status effect. The next time you are freed from a hook, while outside of the killer's terror radius, Second Wind will passively heal you 100%. The perk deactivates when you are fully healed or down before healing is complete, and then you will lose the broken status effect. I think this perk is very good. Let me take a drink because my throat hurts from talking so much. Alright. I think this is a great perk. From a killer's perspective, I hate it because it's a very, very good perk. So basically, to shorten it, when you heal another survivor or survivors a total of 1 health state, this becomes activated. So the next time, I don't know if it's the next time. Yeah, it says the next time you're freed, but I don't know if it's a one-time use. When you're unhooked, you become broken, and then whenever you're outside of the killer's terror radius, you get healed 100% over a period of about 20 seconds, I believe was the time. So it's a sloppy butcher counter. It kills killer pressure because you get the heal for free. Your teammates don't have to waste time on you. It's an amazing perk. I don't know what else to say about it. It very much kills the ability for the killer to put more pressure on survivors by having everybody injured. And yeah, I don't know. That's just what I got to say about it. I think it'll be fantastic for survivors. As killer, it's gonna hurt their pressure, because for those of you who don't play killer a lot, even if you don't like killers, if you're a survivor main, just hear me out. A lot of killers, to put pressure on survivors, you have to spread, you know, who's injured. That's what makes Sloppy Butcher so good, is because you have to waste people's time in order for gens to not get done in 5 seconds. So this takes that ability away from you. That's why I think it's a very strong perk. So now let's go over Nancy Wheeler's perks. We have Better Together. So when you are on a generator, the aura is revealed within a 32-meter range to us other survivors. And then when a survivor is down while you're repairing a generator, you see the aura of every survivor for 10 seconds. I think it's a pretty solid perk. I have no problems with it. It's not OP. It gives you a lot of information, and it helps teammates find you if they need to be healed. Overall, I'd say it's a solid perk. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just good. That's all I have to say about it. Inner Strength. When you cleanse a totem, Inner Strength activates. Once active, you hide in a locker for 8 seconds, and then, while you're injured, by the way, and you become instantly healed. And then Inner Strength deactivates after you are healed. So pretty much, I have the same opinion about this as I do Second Wind. This is an incredibly fast heal. You heal instantly, 8 seconds while you're in a locker, for free. No survivors have to touch you. It counters Sloppy Butcher. It's overall a very, very strong perk. Now it comes with its limitations, because you have to find a totem. But just think about it. You spawn into the game, you see a totem, you cleanse it, then you get chased by the killer eventually, and then you can use it whenever, you know, the time suits you. It could be end game. You say you're for end game, you're injured, you need to get out of the exit gate, get in a locker, fully heal, and then just run out the exit gate. But, you know, it's just really good because these both counter Sloppy Butcher, and they counter the ability for the killer to spread a lot of their, you know, pressure. Because imagine you're in a Swift and like everybody's running Inner Strength and Second Wind. You know how much time they've saved by not needing each other to heal? I'm just saying, it's pretty good. So we'll see what happens on the PTB, but these ones are pretty good in my opinion, because anything that lets you instantly heal, avoid wasting time. It's just good. I don't think it'll shake the game too much. I just think it will be difficult for the killer if a lot of people are running this. One person probably won't make that big of a deal, but if there are a lot of people running these to where they're getting instantly healed without needing other people around, you know, it's just good. Now we will look at Fixated, which is the final one. You can see your own scratch marks at all times, and your walking speed is increased by 20% while not injured. This could make for some amazing mind games, and I think honestly, I don't know. I think some top tier players would probably run this. Maybe not, because they may rely on their dead hard DS Unbreakable too much. But I think Fixated is a very cool perk. I don't know if I necessarily have problems with it as killer. The only thing I'm scared of is people using Fixated and Urban Evasion and trying to be as immersed as humanly possible. Because as killer, the thing that brings me joy are chases, and when I'm chasing somebody and they just disappear, I just hate it. I don't think it's really skill. It's a different story if I just lose them by going the wrong direction. But if I'm chasing somebody and then their scratch marks stop and I literally can't find them because they've managed to urban evade so far, I hate it. I just hate it so much. But I think it's a very cool perk. It could make for some interesting mind games with scratch marks for survivors, and I can't wait to see how that plays out. Other than that, you know, I think everything seems pretty interesting. I think it'll be a cool, you know, bunch of cool additions. I didn't really go over the map. I have no opinions about the map because I don't know how it's going to play until you go into the map and play it on the PTB, which I will be, you know, posting videos when I can, whenever they put it on the PTB. The killer, very simple. I'm excited to try them out. So other than that, let me know what you guys think about the perks. I think the killer perks are kind of mediocre. They're all right, but I don't think any of those are going to be good in the current meta. Cruel Confinement, probably good on Hillbilly. Killers that have high mobility, the rest of them are pretty much not good. But I could be wrong, and they could be changed. Other than that, Survivor perks, they got a very good selection of perks. I think all of these, in some instances, some way, shape, or forms, they're all good. I don't think none of them are bad. They're not a hangman's trick. They're not left behind. They all are just good. You know, they all got pretty solid perks. But yeah, as I said, let me know what you guys think, and I guess I will experiment with this stuff on the PTB. I probably won't experiment with the Survivor perks too much because I'll be focusing mainly on the killer. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.